Hello and welcome to PrimePRO training video. Today we're going to be talking about how to log availability as well as unavailability in PrimePRO. After logging into the system, I want to take you to the settings page first. So in the settings area, you'll notice on the bottom left hand menu there's now an option for unavailability reasons, as you can see here. I've already set some unavailability reasons, as you can see in my list. If I wish to add any more, click New Unavailability Reason on the right, and then you can type in your reason. If this reason is going to effectively be seen as the candidate still available, make sure that you tick this box. So for example, I've created one called Available, and as you can see, I've ticked Still Available here. So therefore the software will see them as still available, but it means that you can tag them that they've actually said that they're available on these dates. However, all the other reasons that I've created in this list are going to be seen by the software as not available, i.e. unavailable. Okay, so now we've built our list of reasons. Let's see how this plays out in the software. So on my weekly booking sheet, I've got some bookings, as you can see, where I've got filled and unfilled jobs, which is indicated by the colours. So this sort of pinky red colour is unfilled, and the amber colour is also unfilled, but the difference between the red and the amber in effect is the amber means that they are we've invited people to bookings. So we're shortlisting candidates for those particular roles, although we haven't completed them yet. So if we open up this booking for consensus support who are looking for a healthcare assistant, that takes us straight to the booking, and if we go recommended candidates, then in this list you'll see all your candidates that have been recommended by the software based on the booking, which it's looking for obviously skilled care assistant, and it's also looking for a miles radius of 10 miles from the postcode of BH241NW. So this is indicated by where the location of work is on the booking. You can increase the radius search, which obviously will then expand your list to include more people. Now Sue is actually shown here, and if you look to the right hand column, you've got the unavailability displayed as a percentage. So this percentage is working off the start and the end date of the booking, and then working out within that range of dates what percentage is the candidate available for. If you click on the percentage amount here, it takes you straight into the candidate's calendar for that particular period, and it tells me in here clearly that this particular person is working at Consensus already on Wednesday, from the 8 till 8 shift. Okay, and all these other candidates are 100% available according to their calendars, which means we can invite them and book them into work for this particular booking. You can also run what's called an availability search. So let's use this tab up here and run my search. So availability search is one of the main options in the main menu up here. Whereupon you can select your category if you want to, your skills, if you want to add particular skills to refine your list, and of course the date range in question that I'm checking for people that are available for my search. So I'm going to match the period that my system is in at the moment, which according to my bookings is week ending the 21st of March. So let's do that. So the 15th of March to the 21st, and then search. So my list here is indicating all those candidates in my system, and of course further down the bottom you can see their percentage of availability reduce based on the dates put above in the search. If you call up one of these candidates, so for example Chester, click on the availability, then you can mark the availability in this calendar for him. So you could say Monday, they're available, right the way through till Friday. Okay, so you've selected your available reason, or unavailability reason, should I say, and then selected your date range and click save, and that logs it as the color blue to indicate that they're available. If I said Saturday that they're unavailable, then that marks as red. Okay, so there are 3 colors actually that are displayed on the candidate calendar, which is blue, red, and indeed green as well. So if we were to go back a few months, you can see that they were booked as a class 1 work shown in green, booked through our system. Okay, make that clear. So that's great. So this now will would have updated their availability, whether it be from the booking search or from the availability search, which I've just closed that window. So forgive me for doing that. So we'll quickly run that search again. Take a second. So it's the 15th to the 21st, wasn't it? There we go. Okay, that's great. So Chester now is 86% available based on this range here. Right, or unavailable, he's 86% unavailable, sorry, make that clear. Great. You can also export to Excel your search. Now the benefit of doing that is that it will actually display the contents of obviously all the people over that range and indeed their availability. Just a couple of things to show. Obviously, if I select another person, say Des here, and mark him, I can use the month view if I wanted to. And from this date here, I'm going to mark him as unavailable until Friday. Okay. You can also do repeats as well. So if we push it to another month and they say from the 12th of April, they're available. So Monday the 12th, so Monday, Wednesday and Friday for the next 10 occurrences. It's that simple. So you could either do it as available or unavailable, and you could create a pattern like I have there. You can also specify using the little clock here from and to times as well. So it might be from a particular time of day that their appointment is logged in the system. Okay, so it could be like a medical appointment that you're logging as a period of unavailability for that candidate. Okay, so how does that actually look when we produce our export download to Excel? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So now we've downloaded the export to Excel from our availability search, and what you'll notice is the columns obviously displaying the name of the candidate, their main contact details such as their telephone and mobile number, as well as email address. And then as we look to the right, you can see the days of the week. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is in fact showing over a 14-day period from the start date of my search, which was the 15th of March. So it's giving us a real clear picture over 14 days of the availability or unavailability of the said candidates according to my search. Where I've marked them as available, so for example this particular candidate here, which is Chester, if you remember I said that this guy was available this week, and it's marked obviously the wording available on each day, and indeed unavailable on the Saturday. This is obviously picked up from the text of your unavailability reasons. So whatever you've worded your particular unavailability, whether it's holiday or medical appointment or whatever it might be, then obviously it would be displayed accordingly. It also shows in the cells the name of the client that the candidate is working at. If you've booked them through PrimePRO, it will then show here that they're actually working at what particular client. So now you're getting a real good feeling for how obviously editing and making unavailability and availability work in PrimePRO, and a very useful report for you to see all your candidates and where they're at in terms of working and their availability. So back to our search for candidates. One thing I would like to show you in this video is that here you also have a postcode search, and you can type in the point of reference for your particular postcode, in this case GU227SL, and then you can click search, and that will then draw up a list based on your radius here. So as I drag the bar, it will obviously increase the miles radius according to how far I want to take it from 0 to 100. So if we say 50 miles radius of the said postcode, it will then list all of the candidates that we have in the system according to that radius. You can pick categories and skills, so you could choose a particular category, whether in my case I've got construction, driving, industrial, social care, hospitality, any of these options that I've set up in PrimePRO. Obviously your particular agency, you might have different categories configured. You could also pick the particular skills you wish to look for, and of course whether or not you're using skill filtering and or. So obviously if I selected 2 skills and I said I'm looking for, you know, a carpenter and a care assistant skill to combined, which is rather an unusual thing to look for, but just go with me on this for a second. And I'm looking for people that have both of those or either or. So obviously that's a very useful feature there. You've got the record count at the top left, which tells you how many candidates that the searchers found. You can include other status such as archived, awaiting approval or onboarding down here. Really useful for those searches for candidates that perhaps you haven't quite onboarded yet, but they've indicated their particular skills and you might want to get them on quick if you're looking particularly for that skill type. You can also specify whether the general compliances, i.e. their rights to work, are compliant or expired or both, so therefore I don't mind either or as long as they've got the relevant skill that I'm looking for. Same with qualifications, so qualifications that compliant, expired or both. This obviously works on the particular skill you've chosen and whether there are any qualifications that sit behind that. And if they're in date, then obviously they're considered compliant. If they're not, or they don't have the qualification for that skill, then they would be seen as in effect expired. And again, you can widen your search net by including both. You could also specify a client, whether or not they've worked at a particular client before within a period of time, any time or within the last 12, 6, 3 or 1 month of working. So again, a very useful mechanism to be able to find candidates that have worked at a particular client before or within a certain miles radius, certain skill set, whether they're compliant or not, and or searching. So tremendous options here for you to filter your list, and they can also be displayed in a map. So with the Google API option in PrimePRO, you can see where all your candidates are located, and I've got mine pretty much spread out between London and the south. As you roll the mouse over the pin drops of the candidates, it tells you their percentage of availability and of course the quantity of miles away from the said postcode. Okay, we can highlight all these guys in one go, and we can then send a contact to them either via SMS as an ad hoc, so we just type it send, or we use email to send in the same way, but an email instead. So the search criteria is very user-friendly, very useful to see geographically where they are, as well as indeed their percentage of availability. And by clicking in, we'll immediately tell you again what's going on with that candidate. So that's how that works. Indeed, from the booking point of view, it's exactly the same. So this particular booking for consensus, remember how I open the booking? Let me just take you back a stage, back to my booking plan. So we've got this booking here. You click on the number, the booking reference number, takes you straight into that booking for that client, consensus, recommended candidates, and straight away it's showing you candidates with the relevant skill that are qualified within the range, and of course their percentage of availability. As I draw the range bar further greater, it then includes more candidates logically. You can switch postcode searcher off, so if you wanted to do a national search to ignore postcode, or perhaps you've found that certain candidates haven't got their postcode inputted correctly, then it will remove that as the criteria. Further down the page, you'll notice obviously the people that are less and less available until 0. So Marcus at the bottom of this page is 0% available. So if we click in there, we can see why, because he's working as a warehouse op elsewhere. Again, look at month view, really quick and easy to see what's going on with Marcus's availability. Okay, so really I'm coming to a close of the usefulness of the very good feature of managing your availability. One last thing to show you, which is accessing this calendar can not only be from obviously these percentage links here, either from the availability search or booking search via recommended candidates. You can simply go to the candidate list, select on your candidate, and you'll notice on the left hand side under preferences, unavailability, which launches the calendar from here. It defaults to the current period, so obviously, you know, that's today's date. So when I was looking at periods of availability in March, then I can set that as my period, and you can see here on my calendar what's going on. So thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about unavailability or availability in PrimePRO, please do get in touch at sales@primepro.net. And thank you for watching.